So now finance and operations flows through that. And then they go all the way
call this meeting to order. It is 7:15, October 6th. This is the meeting of the Seymour Board of Education. Thank you everyone for being here. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You can start with introductions.
Senior.
I'm Daphne Shea, Junior Board Representative.
Pete Kubik, board member.
Lori Foley, Board Member.
Jay Hatfield, board member. Roy Dugas, board counsel.
Kristen Bruno, Board Vice Chair.
Stefan Behuniak, Board Secretary.
Ed Stramello, board member.
Kristen Harmeling, board member.
Dr. Compton, the school superintendent.
Shannon Levy, board clerk.
So we have a lot of Seymour champions to recognize tonight. We're going to start with Chatfield Lopresti School. Mr. Electman, Mr. Blanco.
Welcome everyone. Great to see so many people here. Mr. Electman, I would like to first call forward Raiden Sanchez. Raiden was nominated by Mrs. Schmidt. Raiden is a remarkably creative artist who expresses himself through his drawing in new and inventive ways. While Raiden does not use many words when he communicates, he expresses himself through his drawings and his artwork speaks for itself. Raiden's creativity shines brightly in his drawings, and Mrs. Schmidt felt his creative artistic communication and expression was worthy of this recognition. We're very proud of Raiden. Congratulations. Great job. The next set of Michaela Torres come forward. Michaela was nominated by her fifth grade teacher, Mrs. Kimball. Mrs. Kimball proudly nominated Michaela as a creative student. Michaela consistently brings fresh, engaging ideas to the fifth grade class's morning meetings. She creates activities that are genuinely enjoyed by all the Kimball kids. Her imagination adds a touch of magic, filled with color, fun, and heart. Beyond her creativity, Michaela's kindness and inclusive spirit uplift everyone around her. Michaela, she is truly a bright light in every room she enters. Congratulations. And Mom, you want-
Mom?
Here, we get you right next.
All right.
Everybody get in there.
Mr. O'Rourke is being our Facebook
Okay.
picture guy. Thank you.
All right, next we have Bunny School.
Good evening. Creativity is really shown through a few different ways. Come on up, Marco. Through their thinking, through their imagination, through innovation, and this could be in writing or artwork, in science, in math. So we're so excited to honor Margot Mills for our creativity as our Seymour champion. So we'll give her a round of applause. Yay, Margot! And Mrs. Skeletz is going to share a bit about Margot's creativity in the classroom.
I'm Margot's kindergarten teacher, and I nominated her. Margot is so creative. She loves building unique structures with magnets and uses other manipulatives to create unique and colorful patterns. Margot draws with great detail and adds vibrant colors to bring her ideas to life. She enjoys our unstructured, open-ended playtime and has explored every toy we have with curiosity and imagination. She is innovative and original. Margot's artistic talent shines in everything she does. Congratulations.
You're gonna get a certificate. Wow, look at that.
Mellow, yeah,
All right. You want to take that? We're going to hold it this way, though, okay, so that she can see it. It's special.
Parents?
There you go. Hold it just like that.
Yeah? Okay. You better.
Don't worry
I'll
about it.
send it to you on
I'll
our
forget it.
All right, see Mickey Mouse.
I love them.
Don't worry, I got it.
Yeah. That's because I folded it over on you, but I wanted everyone to see it.
Great job.
Ready? Our next Seymour champion from 4th grade is Jonathan Blakeman. Come on up, Jonathan. All right. Jonathan has been chosen for this creativity award. He shows original and creative ideas and has a creative mind by showing all the ways he can solve different situations and different problems in the classroom. His teacher has noticed him thinking about things in curious and creative ways and loves how he shares his thoughts and views on things with his class in respectful ways. His teacher says, stay creative and keep up the hard work. Congratulations, Jonathan. All right, and turn it so that I won't fold it on you, but
Parents?
here, come on. We're just gonna hold it so it doesn't block your face, though, okay? Perfect. All right, and sister. Oh.
Not a brother.
See a cheese.
Excellent. Thank you. Can you take a picture alone? Absolutely. Here, I'll get it for you and I'll share it with Mom, okay? Ready? Smile. Awesome. All right, I'll send it to Mom.
All right. Jake, can you take, or Mr. Oleg is going to take pictures now for Mr. O'Rourke. Thank you. Share the wealth.
All right, my pleasure to represent Seymour Middle School. I'd like to call up Madison Petruni. Madison Petruni was nominated by the teachers of the 8th grade Gold Team, and this is what they had to say about her. Madison embodies the spirit of creativity in everything she does. Whether in the classroom or through her extracurricular pursuits, she consistently finds unique and meaningful ways to express herself. Madison's creativity shines not only through her artistic talents, but also through her ideas, her problem solving, and her willingness to take risks in how she approaches her work. She embraces her individuality with confidence and encourages others to do the same. Madison is a shining example of how imagination and authenticity can inspire an entire school community. Congratulations. You deserve it. I see cheese.
Okay, Madison's parents.
Why don't you guys come up? Hey, you can stand next to her. Dad. Gabe Rivera. In addition to being the sharpest dressed person in this room, Gabe is a member of the 8th grade white team. This is what his teachers had to say about him. Gabe has distinguished himself as one of Seymour Middle School's most inventive thinkers. A true tinkerer. At heart, Gabe loves to explore how things work, often taking objects apart just to rebuild them in a new and improved way. He brings that same spirit of curiosity and innovation to his classes every day. Gabe approaches challenges from fresh perspectives, offering creative insights that demonstrate both critical thinking and imagination. His inventive mindset and enthusiasm for discovery make him a role model, and it shows what it means to be a creative learner. Congratulations, Gabe.
parents.
Oh,
yes. I'm so proud of you. That's my side.
You're on the side with the principal.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Okay, we love to have you come up to Seymour High School next year and build some race cars with us, right? I'd like to call Miss Kayla Sproles. Mrs. Sponheimer nominated her for her creativity, and she has a little bit to talk about.
It's quite a bit, actually. So when Mr. Lucky first introduced the idea for the new Digital Voices class, which gives students the opportunity to manage Seymour High School's social media and digital archive, I immediately had 2 students in mind for my roster. Kayla was one of them. From the start, Kayla has had a natural eye for the digital world. She knows how to design and present content in a way that's both creative and engaging. In this pilot class, she's become a quiet leader, always willing to take on new projects and help classmates who are still learning the ropes. Kayla's creativity extends well beyond Digital Voices. As a 4-year member of our dance team and the captain, she brings artistry and energy to every performance. She's also a talented, self-taught photographer, someone our school's clubs, teams, and students rely on to capture their most important moments. She's even turned that skill into a small side hustle, helping her peers have high-quality photos to share for the events and milestones that matter most to them. Her creativity is just as evident in the art room. Ms. Soden, who teaches Kayla in 3D design, describes her as a hardworking, fabulous student, whose ideas are both innovative and meticulous. Ms. Leahy, who has taught Kayla in multiple art courses, shared that her creativity truly shines through everything she does, whether painting, drawing, or working in Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop. She often uses Kayla's work as examples for future students, praising her clear, cohesive, and innovative designs. Whether she's designing graphics, photographing school events, dancing at our school's halftime shows, or creating art that inspires everyone in our school, Kayla brings a rare blend of talent, dedication, and quiet confidence to everything that she does. Congratulations, Kayla. Okay, Mom.
Need somebody to take a photo for you, with you up here?
Yeah.
Mr. Electus, yes.
You want to have one? Exactly.
Jay? Wait.
Wait.
He's gonna-
Look at that photography skills. Okay.
Okay, next we have some recognitions. The first one is a resolution regarding the Seymour High School Sports Hall of Fame, class of 2025.
The Seymour Board of Education honors the class of 2025 adoptees of the Seymour High School Sports Hall of Fame, whereas the Sports Hall of Fame has been established to recognize outstanding athletes, coaches, and individuals who have graduated from Seymour High School or coached Seymour High School athletics. And whereas the Seymour High School Sports Hall of Fame is inducting its class of 2025 members on October 26, 2025, and whereas the Seymour Board of Education wishes to recognize the athletic accomplishments of be it resolved that we, the members of the Board of Education, hereby congratulate and extend our very best wishes to the inductees: Tina Sly, class of 1989, softball basketball; Michelle Swancheck, class of 1993, softball basketball; Joseph Carafiello, class of 1995, basketball; Christina Cortella, class of 2011, basketball volleyball; Ken Barreras, 1990-2004, assistant softball coach; 2005-2024, head softball coach; Anthony Lupresti, outstanding Contribution Award, coach, educator, and principal. Be it further resolved that we, the members of the Board of Ed, join members of the Sports Hall of Fame in recognizing and saluting the accomplishments of Kathy Federotis, longtime volleyball coach and athletic director, and Paul Sponheimer, former head coach and lifetime supporter of Seymour High School athletics, on their induction into the Connecticut High School Coaches Association Hall of Fame, dated this day, 6th day of October, 2025. Okay.
Next, we have a recognition for our National Merit Scholar, Kevin Rodriguez.
Yes. This is such a very special occasion, and Mr. Lucky is going to read a little bit about why you qualify for being a National Merit Commendable Scholar.
So Kevin took his PSATs last year, about this time almost. And because of his scores and PSATs, he is ranked in the top 0.1% of all students in the United States. Not 1%, 0.1%. The United States is over 50 million students, K through 12, and he's the top 50,000 of all students. It's pretty commendable, and we're so proud of you and the things you do in the building. He's always a delight, always smiling, always inquisitive, always working on things and helping people in different departments, and we just love having him around, so congratulations.
Make a motion to move item number 6, student reports, to section 7, discussion and possible actions.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Make a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
Okay, we have 2 public comments.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I just wanted to ask, while we're moving things around on the agenda, to the members of the Bungay Policy Committee, want to move your item up? The Bungay Building Committee.
We don't have to.
All right. We'll move on to public comment. And I'll just share that the public comment provides the opportunity for the public to make comment. It's not a dialogue between the board and the public. Based upon what is heard during public comment, the board may choose to add a topic to the agenda. If there are questions posed, those questions may be addressed under the chairperson's comments portion of the agenda. The board will not discuss personnel matters. Comments should be respectful and no longer than 3 minutes in length so that all who wish to comment may have the opportunity to do so. All the public wanting to comment will need to state their name and address for the record prior to addressing the board. Are there any members of the public wishing to comment? Any members of the public wishing to comment? And for the 3rd time, any members of the public wishing to comment? We'll have just a quick recess for a couple minutes. Anybody who wants to
Move the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Building Committee.
Peter, you want to go first?
Yeah.
Co-chair?
Nothing major new to report. All the paperwork is in, as everybody knows. We're out to referendum this Thursday, and once we have the results of the referendum, the decisions will be made, and then the building committee will continue on, hire an architect for the follow-on phases, and then over the next X number of months, the Connecticut legislative branch will do all the necessary approvals for the reimbursement, of the school. It's approximately a $60 million school as currently designed, with a $40 million reimbursement from the state. So they'll be bonding for the $60 million, but it'll be a cost to the town of $20 million. That's really it for now.
I'm fine.
Yeah, just tonight on the agenda is just a revision that needed to be done with the educational specifications, and I've worked with the state on that. And that's under A. We've worked with the architect and the state and Mr. Stanek as well. So that's under A, under discussion possible action. That is a part of this Fungi school project.
Do you need action on it?
No, not to get down to discussion possible action.
Next report is the strategic plan update.
I'd just like to say thanks tonight for our administrators and our Board of Education. We had a really nice working session. We kind of called it a little evening retreat. Special thank you in regards with Megan and helping us out about the food. We had something besides pizza this evening, so it was a real treat. They worked very diligently. A big thank you to all of the members that have served on Strategic Planning Committee. We're going to have more meetings in the future. This was just a framework, and I just want to say great job, administrators, and also very proud of the board members as well, and I thought we had good dialogue. It's a good working session.
Madam Chairperson, if I may, can I make a motion that we go out of order and pick up items 8, B, and C?
Item 7.
7B and C?
Can we move those ahead of reports?
Right.
Yeah, why?
Can-
Is there a reason, Madam Chairperson?
I believe because our attorney is here, only for those items.
Okay.
So you have a motion?
Yes.
You make the motion?
And I thought I'm making a motion to go out of order and address items 7B and C.
Second.
All in favor? So we're going to consider tonight the ratification of the custodian union contract and the para-educator union contract. So Attorney Dukas is here to share a summary and to, as well as the committee members, to answer any questions.
Thank you. Actually, I'm here to address the custodian, Paul Justa from my office in the paras. This contract involves a custodial bargaining unit, which is AFSCME Local 130325. And it's a pretty straightforward deal. It's a 4-year contract, retroactive to July 1 of this year, 2025, and extending through June of 2029. The wage increases are 2.75% each year. The first year, of course, being retroactive to July. There will also be cost share increases of 0.5% a year. Currently, it's at 13%. It'll increase to 13.5% 14, 14.5, and then 15%. There were a few other changes, nothing really earth-shaking. Mostly it was just cleaning up, clarifying things that needed to be added to the collective bargaining agreement. So I would request that you approve the contract as presented. Let me just say that it was a great negotiation. The custodians were terrific. Their staff rep was very helpful and positive and constructive. It was a good process, and I appreciate their collaboration in getting an agreement together.
Make a motion to approve the custodian union contract for the July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2029.
Second.
Any discussion, any questions?
I just want to say, as a member of the team, they really were tremendous to work with. They even, were kind enough to help us through the process a little bit as we had a lot going, 4 contracts at one time, and they were really great to work with. So thank you to them, and thanks for the job that they do for our district.
No, I totally agree with Jay.
I would add October 2nd is Custodian Appreciation Day, so it's a nice time to recognize all of them. And I would agree that it was a great process, and we appreciate that union and the work they did with us. We'll vote on the motion. All in favor?
I'm going to recuse myself.
Okay. One abstention, any opposed? Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the paraeducator contract for July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2028.
Second.
Any questions or discussion?
Just looking to see, give you guys a quick one. Hopefully here, but I can't find the percentage.
I believe it was 2.95, Jay.
So 275, 295, 295. So the first, and again, they were really tremendous to work for. They were so kind, and we are very lucky for the paraeducators that we have in our district and the work that they do, and the dedication that they continue to provide us.
Yeah,
So
they're an
dedicated.
outstanding group that show a lot of dedication to this district. They are the backbone of the district in many ways. They help with so much of just the learning with especially the younger kids. And they're often extremely underappreciated, and unfortunately as a profession they're underappreciated and underpaid. But we found a way to be fair with them, and they were fair with us, and it was a great negotiation, and we're very thankful for all they do.
I would agree. Our goal is always to attract and retain the very best in this group of dedicated educators that work so closely with our students, and we appreciate the process with them as well.
I'm just extremely proud of both groups and that everybody worked well together. It's a win-win. I appreciate all that they do, and our para-educators make a difference with our special ed program every day.
And their appreciation day is later in the year.
Yes.
So we'll remember them. All right, are we ready to vote? All in favor? All opposed? Abstentions? Did you get that?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you
Thank
for
you.
moving me up.
Thank you.
Mr. Hammond, thank you for your concern about the fee.
Gotta say some
Thank you, Attorney Dukas. Do a great job for us.
Thank you.
All right, moving back to reports, we have the CATS program update.
Yes, I'd like for the high school, Mr. Lucky and Dr. Bull's wasn't able to be with us this evening. I'd like for the staff to come up, and we'll let Mr. Lucky make introductions. We've got who's going to present.
Is one of the teachers down in the CATS program, and we're one who's our paraprofessional who's dedicated herself to the CATS program both by choice. I just want to say I'm so very thankful for Dr. Compton and the Board of Education for allowing us to create this program. And you'll see with the presentation Mrs. Spears created why. It's been a long time coming. We're doing great things for kids who need an alternative solution to education. Mrs. Spears chosen to do more of a online screencastify at this point, so she's not on her feet for
I'm a little short, I have a little shortness of breath, so rather than huffing through this, I figured that was the easiest way, so.
You get it play up.
We're just so proud of the program, of what you've done.
Good evening. Thank you for taking the time to hear our update on the SHS CATS program. To get started, we are just going to introduce you to our team. So we have Stephanie Morwana, who is our full-time para-educator. Myself, I'm Liz Spear. I'm the STEM teacher and case manager. Steve White is our humanities teacher and case manager. We also have Melissa Anelli, who's our school counselor, Taylor Anicelli, our school psychologist, and Emily Corbett, our school social worker. To give a quick recap on the CATS program, CATS stands for Creative Alternative Teaching Solutions. We kicked off the CATS program at the start of the 24-25 school year, and we just started off our second school year, so we figured it was a good time to update everyone on how things have been going. For those of you who are less familiar with what the CATS program is, it is an alternative education program run through Seymour High School, where it provides a more or less traditional environment for students who, for a variety of different reasons, are not benefiting from the traditional school structure and need something just a little bit different in order to reach. So the CATS program is offered as the best option for students at a given time, not the last option. There is a thorough referral process in place. Participation in the program is a choice, so it's presented to a student and their family, and they have to be on board and want to take advantage of the opportunity in order to participate in the program. The CATS program is an alternative education program, so it's not strictly a credit recovery program, and it is not a disciplinary placement. And students do enter the CATS program for a probationary time frame to ensure that it is the best fit for them. And that process has worked very well for us in our first year. To dive into that step-by-step process a little bit further, this is how our referral process works. So teachers or our at-risk team that meets regularly will put forward students' names. Our CATS review committee that needs to review those referrals. One of the CATS program teachers would complete a classroom observation of the student in the traditional setting. A referral meeting would then be scheduled with the student and their family to go over what the CATS program is and present that opportunity to them. If they are interested, the student then will complete a CATS program orientation where they would be able to come into the CATS program classroom for a designated period of time just to observe it and see what it looks like in action. The student and family would then make their decision on if they wanted to move forward with participation in the program, and then an intake meeting would be scheduled. From there, we would start the student in the program for their probationary time frame, which is 30 days. And at the end of that time, we would have a meeting with the student and family to determine continuation of the program and make sure that it is the best fit for them and that they're making progress and benefiting from the program like we want to see them. From there is continuous monitoring and review of student performance as they remain in the program. That's kind of ongoing and frequent throughout their participation. Some details and benefits of the CATS program. So we do have a dedicated staff, as I outlined before. All of the staff that participate in this program actually chose to and volunteered to work with this population of students. We are able to provide individualized programming, so that allows us to kind of have more unique opportunities for the students to kind of work on just the essentials and doing what they need to in order to meet their graduation requirements. It is a small group setting, which gives an opportunity for more one-to-one interaction with staff members. It is a community building, so because we are in kind of close quarters frequently, we do a lot of community-based things. We meet regularly, navigate and problem solve together when issues do arise. That way the students have their voices heard as well, and we can work to a solution together, which is a very valuable life skill for them to leave with as well. There's lots of goal setting and achieving, so we regularly conference the students one-to-one to chat with them about kind of what their goals are, where they currently are at, and where they hope to be, and then the steps that they can take to help them achieve those goals. And we also benefit from some non-traditional timelines, so unlike the traditional high school setting where it's broken up into the 4 quarters of the school year, we have a little bit more flexibility with our scheduling and our individualized programming to allow students to progress individually at their own pace. All right, so let's take a look at some of the data. We reviewed data from before students' participation in the program and after. And in relation to discipline referrals, before the program, 100% of students had discipline referrals. During participation in the program, there were 0%. One example, a student did have 11 referrals for discipline, and that number was cut back to 0. For class cuts and attendance, before the program, 100% of students had class cuts and were truant. During the program, 0% had cuts, and truancy is down to 32%. One example of this from a particular student that's in the program that's less measurable is that they would be missing for lengths of time with no communication and no reasoning for their absences. And after being in the program and building those relationships, they started to actually communicate with staff without absences, which was a huge growth for that student. For our OSS-ISS data, before the program, 90% of students had OSS and ISS for behavioral issues, and during the program, 0% had OSS or ISS referrals. In addition to that, their time spent utilizing our social emotional supports and our guidance staff has also greatly decreased. Okay, so I'll look back at the 24-25 school year. Some of our CAD successes. As far as credits go, all CAD students were able to earn credits during the 24-25 school year. We did have one student, for example, who, after spending 2 full school years in the traditional setting, came into the CAD program in their 3rd year of high school. They entered the program with 0.5 credits. So they had accumulated close to nothing in the traditional setting, and they were able to end the school year with 10.5 credits, making up for some of that lost time, and for the first time looking at high school graduation as an actual option for them. For graduates, we did have 4 students graduate from the program. Those are 4 students who may not have otherwise earned a high school diploma or may have been considering alternate routes to earning a diploma. So we are very proud of those students. For school attitude, students have shown through reflections that their views on school have improved. And I'll touch on that more in the next slide. So when asked to describe school in 3 words, before the CAPS program, some of the words that came up included waste of time, exhausting, prison. After spending 1 semester in the CAPS program, when we surveyed, some of the words that we received from students were helpful, supportive, and even fun. And with permission permission to share anonymously, we did receive some direct feedback from the students. One of the quotes that the students shared with us was that the CAPS program has definitely helped me, more so mentally and with work. When I came back to Seymour my sophomore year, it was very bad. I was always doing dumb stuff with my friends, always off task, always being a class clown and getting kicked out of class. But since I've been in the program, my progress has been better. I get more work done and I gain more credits than I thought I would. Miss M, Miss Spear, and Mr. White have motivated me to achieve more, and I think this CAPS program can really be great and helpful for people that are struggling. Another current CAPS student has shared, I was once carefree, which meant my grades suffered a lot because of my actions. I skipped and didn't know the purpose of school, but with the help of the amazing people in this program, they helped me see that there's more to life than fooling around and to lock in so I can do what I desire in life. In a way, this passion saved my life, for I would have dropped out and still been trying to find a shortcut in life. So overall, we just kind of wanted to provide you guys with this positive update from our first year, and thank you for your support so far in helping us to create a program that allows us to be able to be so effective and to reach some of our most at-risk students. We hope to continue to be able to grow and develop our CAPS program to benefit the Seymour school community in the years ahead. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for a great job, Ms. Spears and Mr. White and Stephanie. I actually got to witness and go in and see the classroom and just see how they interacted, how they loved being there, and it truly has been a great program and a great pilot and a great success. I was happy one day when I got to bring them pizza.
So were they.
So we work with a great seasoned consultant also. The gentleman comes in and helped us kind of set up the program. We had a framework. We came in and he had run alternative education programs in the past and has worked with us throughout the year. He has invited us the possibility of presenting at the state level as a program that should be emulated by similar type of size schools as ours. So I'm very, very much proud of the program, proud of all of you for giving us the opportunity because it's been a very long time coming, more especially with Dr. Compton. I've asked this since 2006. She was the first person to allow us to move forward. And thankfully, we have
Thank you for the board's support.
For this program.
Yeah.
So you have 4 graduates or potentially the dropouts. We have half a dozen kids in there now who might have been in the same suit that are now becoming successful in learning that way, learning together as a community, a partnership in the classroom. Do you have any questions?
Really thorough, well done, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming.
And they've also been able sometimes to go into the other regular classrooms.
Yeah, so the students by choice can exit the program at a certain point if they have attained certain goals and achievements to come back into the regular student population. So there's one student who's would be considered a senior typically, who's regained a lot of their credits and they're contemplating the second half of the senior year to come back into the regular environment. And all the kids go in there by choice. We don't force anybody in. The parents are very much involved in the decision-making process. And we've had lots of successes. We've had a few students who came in briefly, said, nah, this is not for us, and they come right back into regular Seymour High School after that. But we wanted to give them those opportunities too. So,
But you gave them the foundation and the support.
absolutely.
And
Thank you so much. Thank you both.
Do we have an update on the RISE program?
We sure do. Good evening. So I'm going to speak briefly, but if you have any questions, please by all means ask. The RISE program is another program, this one at Seymour Middle School, that the best way that I could put it is we have all types of learners, K through 12. The CAPS program you just had the presentation on speaks to a specific type of learner at the high school. At the middle school, what I identify as a need when I first became the principal 2 years ago, is that we needed some sort of program to answer the needs of our students who are identified as having emotional disability. These are students who are special education students. We have a lot of students that fall under that label when it comes to qualifying for special ed. But on top of that, we have a lot of students, and this is not a Seymour Middle School issue, we have a lot of students that are dealing with trauma, going back to pandemic, trauma from economic uncertainty, trauma from not knowing when their next meal is going to come. We have many different types of students, and put together their own personal stories as human beings with who they are as learners. We have a lot of students in our school, as does any school in this day and age, that has a need to have a program where students have a place that they can go to if they're not capable of being successful in that specific moment during the course of their school year. So what RISE stands for, and we did a very good presentation on what the RISE program was going to be 2 years ago, but just to refresh everyone, in case you don't remember, I wouldn't blame you if you didn't. RISE stands for Responsive Intervention, Support, and Empowerment. So what we did 2 years ago was we did an audit of our special ed students. And we looked at the students that were frequently getting suspended for outbursts in class, students that were not successful academically for a variety of reasons. We looked at their needs as special education learners. And what I was really surprised with when I came to Seymour is that we didn't have a program that specifically spoke to students that needed support potentially at any moment of the school day. Now, let me make this clear. The RISE program is not a program where the students spend their day in isolation. It's actually quite the opposite. 90% of their day is scheduled to be with non-disabled peers. So they have regular schedules like every other student. But what's really different about a RISE student's schedule is that at any point in time, all special ed students, they have a case manager, special education teacher who's been identified as the RISE teacher. And we have several classrooms that are set up to be the RISE classrooms. At any point in the day, if a student is having any type of issue which disables them in that moment from being able to be successful in class, they have a place to go. They have a place to go to the charge, to the group, with the goal of getting them back into class. And this is something that didn't exist in our building 2 years ago. So we started to put the plan in place to create this program over the course of my first year. By the end of the first year, working with Dr. Boyle, we had a structure that involved a special education teacher, a behavior analyst, CBA, commonly referred to as, our school social worker is part of the team, our school psychologist is part of the team. It was work. We needed a separate space in the building to be the teacher's classroom. The teacher actually has 2 classrooms that are connected by one door, so it's all one big learning center, if you want to think of it in terms of that. And you need paraprofessionals that are able to go to class with these students. So all we didn't add anything in terms of resources to our building than what already had existed at Seymour Middle School. We just reallocated the way resources were spent. And we identified through, the process was within our RISE team, we identified the students that would benefit from a program like this. Last year was the first year of the program. The teacher who we brought in to lead the program was hired literally 3 days before the start of school. So could you imagine, this is a very important program, which requires a person of extreme talent to be able to run and orchestrate properly. And we got a very good teacher in Ms. Jimenez, who we hired from New York City, and she became the RISE teacher. We have 3 paraprofessionals. The reason why we have 3 is that we have 1 paraprofessional that works with groups of students from each grade. So each grade level has students that are in the RISE program, and it's in their IEPs. They have para support. All we're doing is utilizing the para that we would have otherwise scheduled to be in their class if there was not a RISE program, to be RISE paras. Those paras work with those students throughout the course of the day. They monitor the students, they help the students in class, they help other students if students need support, because the paraprofessionals involved in the classroom is capable of helping anybody. But where the RISE program really kicks into gear is that if a student is struggling for any specific reason, they have a place to go. Now, these are kids that in my first year, And I don't have data. I don't have data to share with you. I can produce it if you want me to, but I can tell you we had an exorbitant amount of in-school suspensions out of school for behaviors that, despite our best efforts to escalate those behaviors, we didn't have a place or proper mechanism in place to truly de-escalate those students, keep them in an educational environment, and continue on with their education throughout the course of the day. The RISE program changed that. We had 8 students that were in the program last year. Of those 8, and I spoke with my team today just to get some candid opinions, there is a good likelihood that 6 of the 8 potentially could have been outplaced last year if we didn't have this program. But suspensions were down, attendance was up for that specific group of students, and this year at the beginning of the school year, we're off to an even better start. Without having data to show you, and I am a data person, but tonight, the program is without question working. Without question. These kids are coming to school, students that, before we had the RISE program, going back 2 years ago, the conversations, potential outplacement. These are kids that are coming to school, they're going to all of their classes, their behaviors are down. Listen, nobody's perfect. Some of these students do have times where the behaviors flare up, but we have a mechanism where they go to the RISE room. They're de-escalated, they calm down, and quite often they're back in class in 30 minutes. These are students that the behaviors have continued to amp up, and in the past they would have been sent to the assistant principal's office. Because there would have been nowhere else for them to go. That's the structure that was in place. We have a structure in place for our most challenged students when it comes to behaviors, and there are also students that are extremely challenged when it comes to their learning styles. We have a mechanism in place to educate them all day long. That's what the RISE program does. Just an idea of what they focus on in the RISE program. They focus on increasing appropriate behaviors. They focus on increasing academic, social, and behavioral skills. They focus on increasing school attendance. They work on increasing appropriate attention, looking for appropriate attention, not acting out to get attention, but getting appropriate attention from peers and adults. They work on increasing positive behaviors to gain access to rewards and to privileges. And they work on increasing appropriate behaviors that function to escape avoiding consequences and negative interaction. So, when you're a RISE student, from the second you come into the building every single day, you have a support system in place. You know what your support system is. Our social worker, Mrs. Stubby, is a key player with the RISE students. She frequently gets involved in situations throughout the course of the day if students are struggling. It's not uncommon to see Mrs. Stubby or Mrs. Weaver, our school psychologist, hopping in and out to connect with kids. But the biggest difference that I could share with you, because I lived in this building now for over 2 years, the first year that I was here, our mental health staff, they will also spend an exorbitant amount of time with these students in a crisis situation. What we've done is we've changed the script on how a situation is handled, how they're managed in terms of when they're in crisis mode, and how quickly we're able to get them to bounce back to be able to go to class. We have a program like this in my old school, which is what we have attempted to replicate, and I can tell you it's working as good as I can hope for it to work. As I mentioned, we had 6 students last year that almost certainly, at least half of them, or probably closer to 6, could have been outplaced students without a program like this. And, you know, from a practical sense of being able to educate students, it's just a no-brainer to utilize a special ed teacher in terms of a resource to run this type of a program. There are students coming in and out of the room all day long. The special ed students, they are special ed students, so they have pull-out services for their IEPs that the special ed teacher services them throughout the course of the day. Our schedule in our building is an overlapping schedule, so 6th graders, 7th graders, and 8th graders all have different schedules. So at any point in the day, teachers are coming in and out. There's a wide, vast array of academic ability amongst the kids. We have some students in the program that require small, what we call resource reading classes, which the RISE teacher also teaches to those students as well. So we're providing a lot of services to these students. We have the BCBA, Mr. Magnata, who is split between our building and the high school. He's worth his weight in gold, what he brings to the table. Our students have a reward system in which the students that were put on this reward system at the beginning of the year, and and there were 7, and we reviewed the data actually today. All of them increased the amount of points that they earn on a weekly basis for positive behavior. So it's been a resounding success. The proof is we haven't had athletes on student since I've been here, and we have certainly had students that their needs are great, but we're fortunate we have this, we're able to service them. We can service them, and I can tell the parents, we are capable of educating your child here. Where 2 years ago, that wasn't the case because we didn't have a program in this place. But just to make sure that I'm clear on this, they spend 90% of their day in regular classes with their non-disabled peers. The 10% is the pull-out when they come in for services as per their IEP. The potential is for them to spend more time in the Rise Room if the need is there. And on any given day, you can find anything. Dr. Compton has been to the Rise Room many times. There are days that you might find 3 or 4 students in there that they're all in crisis mode, and this one's with the parent, this one's with the teacher, and the social workers in the other room. And then there are days that there might be one student getting a one-to-one with the teacher. It just depends on the time of day, and it can be anything, but it's certainly working in my opinion.
Seen some good changes in the program after just starting it from last year and new location, just where it's located, and just really understanding now what the role of the program is. I think it's doing well.
And there are 8 students that are full-time Rise, but 12 students actually have access to them. So there are students that have access to the support in the Rise room, but the Rise teacher might not necessarily be their case manager. Those are students that might have something in their IEP that just makes sense. To make sure they have like anxiety. They might be a student who deals with anxiety, and you might give them access to the Rise room in an alternative setting. So that's it for now.
Okay, Shirley.
Any questions?
That's submitted with the enrollment plan has done the projections and the enrollment analysis, and also the students that are out of district, currently 21. Also, the special education report has been submitted by Dr. Boyle, and financial.
Any questions about any of the reports? Move on to discussion and possible action.
Yeah, if we could go ahead and do it what.
Yeah, we wanted to add an item here as well.
Yeah, so our students can,
Yeah.
do the policy that they do.
Okay, I would like to add to the agenda bylaws of the Board of Education policy number 9960.
All in favor of adding that to the agenda?
Okay, and I would like to following change to that. Read through the entire thing. Student representatives on the Board of Education. Seymour Board of Education shall allow 2 students from Seymour High School to participate in its meetings as student members of the Board of Education. The Board of Education shall appoint 1 senior student member and 1 junior student member. The Board of Education shall have the right to remove any student members within its discretion. The board shall seek the advice of the Seymour High School Student Council in making such appointment. The next line is stricken. Neither student members shall be entitled to vote on matters before the Board of Education or to participate in executive session of the board. The Board of Education, in its discretion, may exclude the student members from participation or involvement in any other matter within the board's discretion. End of the addition and correction. Questions?
Make a motion to accept the change to the bylaws of the board in regard to student representatives on the Board of Education, finding this added and making the changes.
You're welcome.
Discussing it for one time.
So just for an explanation, the reason you're proposing the change?
Okay, because the old policy was incorrect in listing the board members, student members, and the ability to student members to participate. And so when I noticed that, I wanted to make sure that we do it in the proper way to allow our student representatives to report to us without having to worry about they were doing something illegal, even though we were the ones that are allowing you to do it illegal.
Well,
So we wanted to fix that.
It's an old policy. It's been there for many years.
The last time it was accepted and adopted was 1999.
So in other words, this is
Oh, you
actually
were
not
wrong.
a change to practice, it is a change to align the policy to the practice we've always been doing.
Good. In recent years, correct?
Yeah.
Without proper adoption.
All right, we need a certain majority in order to change it after
Well,
one
to
reading.
do it
That's-
tonight.
Yep.
correct.
All right, so all in favor?
That's 2/3, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So now,
I'd like to make a motion to go out of order to.
No, we moved both dates, and now you could do it right now.
Oh, okay, I make a motion to approve the recommendation of the Seymour High School Administration and Student Council to appoint Daphne Shea as the Board of Education Junior Student Representative.
I would second that. And if I could say something, Madam Chairperson?
sure.
Thank you for your patience
Yes,
and your
this is not-
professionalism during this change. And congratulations, well, pretty soon I'll congratulate you.
All right, all in favor? Welcome.
So we can let them report now, right?
Yes. Now
Because I think we
the
moved
student,
it, right?
yep, now the student representative reports.
Alright, so I'll start off. For our National Honor Society, students have been volunteering at community events through September and October. The Pumpkin Festival and the Seymour Fair this past weekend. They've also organized a Pink Out Day and Game on Friday to promote breast cancer awareness and have been providing awareness facts for the daily announcements. They'll be inducting a new class of members October 15th. For Student Council, we're awaiting our first meeting, hopefully soon this week. We're going to begin to look for homecoming dates and some ideas. Hope Club, they're working on projects for the upcoming months. They are looking to hold a sock or coat drive again in October, and they plan to make homeless flags and create blankets to donate as well. Over the summer, they kept up with the school garden, and they have harvested tomatoes and other vegetables to get the garden thriving fully again. Our community chats, we had a meeting with the students that are going to be participating this past week with Ms. Brown and Mr. Lucky. And it's going to begin this Wednesday in Ms. Houston's class where they're beginning to do getting to know you pumpkins. Our sports teams, basically all of our sports are in mid-season stride. Our boys soccer team is 8-1-2. Our girls soccer team is 5-4-2. Swimming, even with a very small team, swimming strongly and is currently 4-3. Volleyball sits at 10-4 with a huge week coming up, and our football team is 4-0. Our cross-country boys team is 1-10, and the girls are 0-11. They'll be competing at NBOs next week. Most of our teams will be wearing pink during the games this week, but they obviously still bleed blue and gold. On a non-Seymour sports note, senior Adrian Silo was in California this past week, where he made history by capturing the title at California International PAL Boxing Championships, known for being one of the most toughest youth tournaments in the country. Our yearbook, the yearbook staff just set out on 2026 theme for the yearbook, and they're busy at work creating a cover and designing templates that will bring their ideas to life. Our art club is currently working on things for the fall. They created clay pumpkins, and they had also many creative pieces being put together, even one painted cheetah print. It'll be quite a display when they're all painted up and lit up. Next, they'll be working on decorations for the winter parade float that happens downtown during late November. Our Spanish club, they have been celebrating the National Spanish Heritage Month from September 15th to October 15th. Each day on your morning announcements, they post a question and students can respond to the answers on a Google form. At the end of the month, they're going to do a draw of gift certificates for the students who answer questions correctly. They're also in the process of selecting officers. Our performing arts, they had their first meeting last week and they tripled its numbers from last year. And they're currently choosing songs for our March show, which are a loose 90s theme. Our car club had our annual fall race on Halloween this year at Lime Rock Park in Lakeville, Connecticut, and our team will be taking 2 cars to compete against other high schools and colleges from New England and Canada. Our Hope Club, over the past month, they have been doing amazing things around school and the community. They set up a tattoo booth at the Seymour Pep Rally, and they started a school garden, which is already growing beautifully. They raised over $600 through their popcorn fundraiser, and next up, they're going to help out with the sock and coat drive to help those in need.
So our robotics teams recently volunteered at the Pumpkin Festival, assisting in flower sales and pickup, and as well as setting up for the festival. The club has over 20 students involved with 3 teams, including 1 all-girls team, and they are nearing completion of their first version of their robots to prepare for their first competition later this month. They will attend at least 3 competitions in hopes of qualifying for states again. FBLA continues to grow with a record number of members attending each meeting. At their most recent meeting, they learned about this year's competitive events and have started choosing their events for the competition in spring. The committees have been brainstorming ways to fundraise and how to give back to the community, and they're excited to start working through their ideas. Winning silver champion chapter last year for both state and nationals has given them great motivation to go for gold this year, and they've worked very hard to submit every possible task so far. Our newspaper club has been meeting over the past couple of weeks to discuss their first issue in hopes of coming out on October 16th. Students have signed up for their first piece of work and are hopefully finishing soon to edit and finalize their work. Line Dancing Club is loving its Tuesday morning sessions. The students quickly learned several songs. Last Tuesday, they went through a review of every song they've learned so far, and every morning they all leave the gym happy and full of energy for the day. Our Bible Club has been meeting since early September every Friday from 2 to 3 p.m. They've enjoyed time sharing stories, needs, and prayer time. They've been reading through and discussing different prayers that are found in the Bible to help us in their own prayers. They also participated in See You at the Pole on September 24th at 7 a.m., where students at schools all across America annually gather at their school's flagpole to pray for their schools, friends, teachers, government, and nation. Best Buddies over the past month has been busy making a positive impact in our school community. They raised over $750 at their Shake Can fundraiser, and they've created 9 new buddy matches and are preparing to host a school-wide assembly featuring guest speakers on November 5th to advocate for inclusion. To keep the fun going, they're also planning a pumpkin decorating activity this month to celebrate friendship. The Environmental Club has had one meeting where they discussed campus cleanup days and spreading environmental awareness throughout their school. Ms. Scott has a field trip planned for Maritime Aquarium with no date planned yet, but there's a lot of interest and support from the student body.
That was a lot, and we thank you.
Great job.
Students have been busy. Thank you.
Lots of school spirit so far.
Considering the hour, you're
Let it
welcome
go.
to stay for the rest of the meeting, and we're not required to
You need to
stay
go.
for the rest of the meeting. Okay, next, we have the educational specifications.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the educational specifications revisions for Bungay School Procurement Construction Solutions Group LLC.
Second.
May I ask someone to just summarize the changes?
Do you want me to say that? Yeah. The ed specs needed to be revised to include the reference to the new construction, and minor edits were made to the space program reflecting the new and existing areas. That's what's reflected in that.
Any questions, any discussion?
Pete, anything that we want to add today?
No, can't. Just trust me. It's around there if you need to see it. And let me have it back.
You said you-
Oh, okay.
Then let me have it back. Just. So we're on the back. It's at the top.
All in favor? All in favor?
Oh.
Okay, thank you. All right, next we have the CABE mandated policies.
Okay. There are a few of them in there, as you've noticed. And Chris and I were there, Kristen was unable to attend that meeting. We moved it over to the full board with the suggestion that since it's complicated, that unlike in the past where we, if we have a percentage there that we could just automatically do them, we felt in this case that we would like to ask us to approve it, but move it to the next meeting so that people can read it in more thorough, unless you just want to trust the policy committee and vote it in tonight. That's what the proposal from Mr. Champagne and I were, as far as was mandated, because, you know, as you can see, there's, you know, there's 6161.
I think we should wait. I think that's a good recommendation to do it next month.
Yeah.
We do it next month?
Yeah.
Well, we have to approve it temporarily, I think that's what a
Well,
lot
we
of them
can,
call
well, we can still bring it back for November.
Make a motion to table the CABE mandated policy updates to
it.
the.
Yeah, but we were thinking more than tabling it to approve it, but wait until the next meeting to officially.
To officially
Because our
adopt.
bylaws,
Yes.
so we're approving, maybe the better word would be approve the proposed mandated ones. And then to vote on it at the next one.
Yes.
Approve the changes.
So I guess
Go ahead.
sorry.
No bad.
I'm sure my question would be though, that in the meantime, are we going to edit and or revise? Only because we.
That would be your option during the time from this month to next month to make suggestions to edit it.
Then I don't think we should vote on anything tonight, Ed, because if we're voting to approve them, that means that they stay as is, and then we adopt at the next meeting. So I don't think we should do anything but table. And then every time we've tried so far with this board to approve and adopt at the same meeting with the 2/3 vote, we've been successful on that,
Okay.
so.
Yeah.
We just wanted to make sure, because of the volume of it, that we're giving board members the opportunity to look at it and not say that we're trying to ramp something down. And as noted, these are mandated policies, so there's really not much
Not much,
that
there's no
we can do
changes.
because they came from mandated policies.
So I think the time between now and the next meeting, everyone should be prepared to review and adopt.
Shannon will resend them too. It's in your, Google, it's in the drive.
I think, do I need a second for Jay's motion?
Second.
Okay. All right, all in favor?
Thank you, that'll be the best plan.
The athletic trainer contract.
Yes, we have this through Griffin Hospital. Thanks for all the great work that Kathy and Deidre, and we've been doing this with Griffin now. This makes probably the 3rd year. So here's the contract. Shannon and I've worked with the lady that's over it, and Pat Charmel has signed off on it as well, the CEO of Griffin. So we're very pleased. So tonight we'd just like for you to approve that.
The rates didn't change.
The rates did not change.
Have there been any issues with this agreement the last couple of years since we've had it?
No. Kathy, anything you want to?
And if I could, okay, I see Deidre's here.
Kathy?
Are we getting the same person, Kathy?
Yep, same, Alex, has been doing the training for us, he's awesome.
And, you know, there's been a couple of times where we've had schedule changes, or he's had to do one game and then leave that game when it's over and go to the next one. He's been more than available to us, and he's actually helped out throughout the NBL too, when they have the big events and they need people. He's filled in, and the NBL is paid for him. He really helps out well. So, and to be honest with you, we're getting an extremely good rate when you talk to what Torrington and Naugatuck and Derby and Oxford are paying for their trainers. We're getting a good deal.
If I could, through the chair, okay, I agree 150%. I was able to watch personally the young man that we had. He did an outstanding job during the basketball season, and I watched him a little bit during track also, and that was my concern. If we make sure we get him back, and unlike the past, that Kathy is no, we're not getting complaints about time changes and all that stuff there, because as an athletic director, as we both did, you sometimes, and I hate to use the word slave, but you're a slave to the weather. And it's nice that an athletic trainer understands what's going on when the weather comes and messes everything up. So I wholeheartedly endorse this.
And bottom line, the kids respect him, and they value his opinion, you know, they feel very comfortable with him, and it's just a good fit for us.
I'll make a motion to accept the Griffin Athletic Trainer contract as proposed.
Second.
Through the chair, just one thing, on this document that we have here in our hands, Exhibit A, I think needs to be revised. Because it says city, agreement by and between Derby High School and Griffin.
We could do type, it was just a typing error.
Yeah.
That was with the Word document.
But it was a reference
Yeah.
in the term.
Exhibit A.
Yeah.
I'll make that amendment to my motion to accept the Griffin Athletic Trainer contract with the necessary change to reflect Seymour High School.
Second.
Any other questions, discussion? All right, all in favor?
We're very fortunate to have this hospital and what they've done for us. As a district physician, we have the chief medical officer, and then also this athletic.
Make a motion to accept the Seymour High School track coaching position change proposal as presented.
Second.
Okay, I would like to ask Mr. Federer to explain it to us.
So there's actually two pieces there. The one is to split the head coaching position. Prior years, we had a head coach for boys, head coach for girls. When our program got much smaller, we just had one head coach and then the assistants. Our program is getting much bigger, which is wonderful. In addition, athletic.net now mandates that everything, well, CIAC mandates that everything be put on athletic.net. And so it's a lot more on the coaches in order to make sure every single kid is registered in the proper events. If they're not, then they're not allowed to compete. So there's the technology piece that has to be incorporated in there. And with the addition of, you know, all these kids, we just feel it would be better to have the two head coaches, not a boys and a girls head coach, but two working together. One working more on the technology piece and the other one working more for the day-to-day running of the practice. And it still gives two, you know, coaches that the kids can go back to, depending on who they feel most comfortable with. So
And it's cost
it will
neutral.
not be, it will not be a
Correct.
change in the overall stipends, because we're just taking one head coach position and taking one assistant position, putting them together and then splitting that in two.
That opens a second question for me. The union is aware of this.
Yes, we ran it by
Megan, yes.
Okay, then the other question I have is, because back in my day, they used to practice separately. The girls at one time and the boys at one time. How is it gonna be done now?
No, everything, it's still gonna be run the same way, it's just,
Same way as what, Kathy?
excuse me,
Same way as what?
as everyone practices together. The throwers are over there, the runners are over there, boys and girls are mixed, that kind of
Okay.
thing. But the amount of time of putting all of that stuff together for every single meet, and a lot of the MBL schools don't have track right now facilities, so we have a lot more track meets here, and that is the burden on the home team. So we have to put all of that information in.
Yeah.
The other piece we
Yeah.
wanted is to look at including another winter indoor track coach. Because that program, right now, we're at 50 athletes, and that's not including our freshman class. That's just returning kids. And the thing about track is there's something for just about everyone to do. And in the winter, we have boys and girls basketball, swim, and then cheerleading and dance, which is a carryover from the fall. So it's an opportunity for kids to do something that aren't going to play basketball or swim. And so we love having the numbers, but we can't, with 2 people and over 50 kids, it's very hard to, have runners over there and other people over there. So we really like another track coach just for eyes and to help out with what's going on.
So,
We can do that at the next meeting.
again, is that an additional coach?
That would be an additional coach, so that would be an added stipend, yes.
So that would be additional money added to the track program?
Correct.
So perhaps we
We'll
could
do
see
that in
if
November.
that's financially
Yeah,
feasible and.
Right, we'll
So
try to do
when-
that in
at the
November.
at the November meeting.
You're talking about for the indoor?
Correct.
But we're gonna vote this on the outdoor.
Right.
Is that correct?
Through the chair, November might be too late, they probably need to post it and get the position ready to go. So I just would be afraid if we leave it till November, it would be a detriment to the program,
Do we have the financial
I don't know,
information
that's
tonight?
Dr. Through the chair to Dr. Kemp.
What is the, okay, our next board meeting is the 3rd, November 3rd.
No, it's the 5th.
It's the 5th. Yeah, it's Wednesday. I keep forgetting it's moved after election.
Yeah, so winter sports will start the first week of December, so.
Okay.
We say some out here by moving Mr. Dugas up a little early.
It's in the back of the contract.
Yeah.
I think we use our legal budget on the contract.
So when did the winter, when did the winter start?
First week of December.
First week of
December.
December. So then our next board meeting will have a list of the winter coaches that we need to approve then.
Correct.
Yes.
It would be a head track,
It would be an assistant
assistant.
indoor track for winter is what we're looking for. And then the outdoor track would be co-head coaches. And those stipends have already been, I think Mariah took them and already split it.
Yeah.
Those contracts haven't gone out yet because we're waiting for approval.
Right.
Probably.
The amount.
I would, if it's
Alright, let's
assistant.
vote on the motion before us, and then we can have more discussion about the adding a position. All right, any more discussion on the,
Outdoor track.
right?
I don't know that we have a motion that's specific enough.
Right.
Is there a motion on the table, actually?
I think Jay had made a motion.
Yeah.
What was the motion?
Lumping them together, so if we're going to separate it.
Coaching position change proposal for us.
I'm just going to see if I can find.
Yeah, it
what
says
the process is.
change proposal.
Change.
It does say change proposal.
The cost-
Do we want to be specific to say Seymour High School outdoor track coaching?
Yeah,
position
Yes.
change Proposal?
I think, yeah, if you look
Yes.
at the second paragraph on page 2, that first sentence will probably do it for you, Jay. We would request, make a motion to return to the 2-head coach structure for outdoor track.
So currently, I just have a question that gets through the chair. In the contract, it says assistant track,
Yeah, it does.
so that it doesn't delineate really.
Indoor or outdoor?
really, it doesn't, yeah, so here's our coach.
It doesn't say, it just says assistant track, it
Yes,
doesn't.
if you look at the contract, actually, because I've already brought it to Dr. Compton's attention, there are a few things in there that are slightly inaccurate. They have to be realigned. For example, we do not have an assistant golf coach. The assistant golf coach position was repurposed about 2 or 3 years ago, approved by the board, to become a assistant tennis position.
Yes.
So Deirdre and I went through and we looked at it and we're like, well, that's not quite right. There's, so some of it needs to be redone. I don't know who does that, but those stipends need to be adjusted.
Sorry, I guess to
Pause
that,
and just do it in November, since
Yeah.
we're talking about December coaching, and then we're talking about spring coaching.
Yeah.
We don't really need to do this tonight.
Well, you have to, with this track coaching though, with the change of the split, that needs to be done. And then
but
we-
again, I don't even know
Why
if
does
it
that
really
need to be done?
does need to be done
No, it
by us
doesn't.
because
No.
of the fact that it does not delineate here. And if it's an agreement with the union, that's kind of on them, to work it out. Because again, for us, it just says, according to the contract and its interpretation right now, it's just saying,
It's
what we
broad.
have. So for our purposes, I don't even know if we really need to discuss it because as long as they work, and I don't mean they, but as long as the athletic department and the union works it out, it kind of is a moot point because it's not really under our purview.
Yeah, but
It's part of the contract.
It's part of the
board
Part
is
of
the
the
only one
contract.
that can create and eliminate positions.
They're in there.
So we're technically,
But technically, we already have the
It's in
position.
there.
Does the contract have 2 head coaching positions right now?
No.
no,
Yeah, we'd have to create a position.
that's what I'm saying.
Just create the position.
Right, but it's for spring sports, so
Yeah.
I think we could address this next meeting and have the numbers and a very clear.
We'll have
motion
memo
laid
and
out.
everything outlined,
We should
so
do
it's,
just the indoor first, correct? Or we could do both.
We had talked about, around the time of negotiating the contract, cleaning up those.
about the
ambiguous
revisions
positions.
there, and that's what we'll do. We'll have Kathy look at that, and we'll have the finance office, and we'll work with the union and
So is it the
We also
union
don't
that would
necessarily
have
reopen
to
the contract.
reorganize
No, no.
that? I mean,
And that can be a problem. So I think we're gonna have to reach out to Attorney Dugas.
Well,
A memorandum of understanding.
we'll work with the attorney, our union representative, our president, you, Kathy, and then we'll also work with Salvatore, the business part there, and we'll get this
Probably
out.
the committee,
Yes,
and then we will bring it to the board.
yeah. Yeah, go that way.
The liaison
Oh, the liaison, that's correct.
Because they're not just athletic stipends.
No.
There's also clubs
Yeah.
that are.
Yeah,
Okay,
I understand.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna have to be sensitive too to the way it's worded because
Yeah,
even though they're splitting the salary or whatever, we're saying 2 head coaches down the road, what's to prevent someone to say that they both get the head coach salary?
Well, that's in the contract also. I mean, it specifies what the salary is for each.
they have a single
Salary.
contract
The
page.
salary there's something in the appendix that states a head coach salary.
But it differs for every sport. So when the schedule gets updated and it reflects 2 head coaches, the salary would have to be updated as well.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we agree. Yeah.
I think it also needs to be delineated between outdoor track positions.
Thank you.
and indoor
Yeah.
track positions.
In my other, we've always specified the outdoor,
I don't
indoor.
think the stipend was the same for both.
Excuse
I
me.
don't think the stipend was the same for both, was it?
Well,
For head coach indoor, head coach outdoor?
No, I think
No.
you're right.
I don't think that's what it is. You
Yeah.
gotta click.
There's a difference, right? Yeah, that's what I
From
thought.
what I remember.
Yeah, from what I do too.
So well, let's bring it
That
back.
would not be, well,
Go ahead.
Anyway, all right.
Off task, off topic.
well, it's on top, but it's not, and we're going.
What are you saying, Jay?
So I think this needs to
withdraw your
go,
motion.
the administration needs to do some work and.
So I'm gonna withdraw my motion and I'm gonna ask that we table it to the November meeting.
Good idea.
Second the motion for table if that's
Okay.
necessary.
All in
Yes.
favor of tabling this to the November meeting? Okay.
Make a motion to accept the proposal of the European trip for the 2027, to Greece.
Hi. So Miss Whitman, she felt ill today. She got sick. So I told her I would pass out the information. Permission to approach the bench? There we go. So, we've done 4 trips. I was privy to go on the first one, which was amazing, the quartet. So this one that we're proposing is Greece, and I'm gonna give you the packet. It has it's all the same information, all the same situations with liability and safety and structure. We get to go to visit the Temple of Poseidon. Ooh.
While
This
she's-
one's
I
really
see you have a
cool.
little passion here. While she's-
Hoping I get to be the admin in charge.
Yeah, while she's passing this out, we've kept our new security officer all evening. He was on the informational part of the agenda. Mr. Henry would just like to introduce him. So
Good
you
evening,
get to
Board.
go home, I'm sorry.
Good evening. I'd like to introduce, this is Dave Olivetti. He's going to be our new armed guard at Chatfield School, Chatfield O'Presty School, taking over for Kevin Pupinelli, who obviously left to go to another district. Dave is now the 4th guard I've hired, and I've only been here, this is my 3rd year, so I don't know if it's a reflection on my ability to retain employees, or it's just the cards that I've been dealt. Dave is local, he's a retired NYPD officer, great fit for the job, great personality, and we'll be starting Thursday.
He lives in the community and he's a grandfather, has grandkids in the school district.
Welcome.
Welcome. Sorry we've kept you here quite a while. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Any motion needed from us tonight?
I think there's a motion on the field trip.
No, I just don't know, like, I don't know what the motion is. Like, we approve the pursuit of it, that's all. I don't know
Yes.
what the motion is.
So it's
Same
for
like we did last
2027.
year.
So it's not for this coming June, it's for the following one. We wanted to give families a little bit more time to fundraise. The trip costs just about $4,200 per student, but having gone myself, it's everything. It's food, flights, everything, every travel. If they want to do something in addition, we could decide as a parent group, they'll say like, oh, we want to add in a temple run. And then we'll say it's $80 extra a person if you all decide. If not, we don't do those extra things. But there's fundraising that goes along with it. This company was so wonderful. They had a tour guide that followed us, everywhere. We stayed in the hotels with the tour guide. They brought us to our buses, to our destinations. They had meetup times. So we're looking for approval to then begin promoting and fundraising. I like how I threw myself in there.
I make a motion to approve.
Sorry, I think I made one.
Oh, you did? I didn't hear it. What was it?
That's how we started.
He made a motion to approve the.
Okay.
European-
Was there a second? Do we have a second?
Yeah, I seconded.
Okay. Do we typically get a form that connects it to the curriculum?
Well, because we're not going during school, we don't
Okay.
have to connect to the curriculum. This is 100% going, we have modern world history, and I know from being an English teacher, the Odyssey and Iliad that we teach. But because it's not during the school year, like Ansonia High School, they go during the school year, and it's curriculum bound. Because ours is not, it doesn't have to be, but of course, it's enriched learning experiences.
Okay, any other questions? Great. All in favor of approving the trip?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the 2.25% wage increase for cafeteria managers and employees.
Second.
Ms. Brooks, you've been waiting a long time. Is there anything?
Last
Maybe not standing.
Yeah, exactly. So I would like the board to approve a 2.25 pay increase for the cafeteria staff. And then for my assistant, Jennifer Simonetti, to increase her pay 5%. She's taken over a lot more responsibilities since she started She basically runs everything in the office in regards to the typical bookkeeping stuff, but she talks to the parents with their students' meal account. She helps with the point of sale with the staff if they have any issues, works with parents on their negative balances. It's just become a lot more complicated program from when Jay was in the elementary school back in 1990 when I first started. So, you know, I thought this job years ago was just writing menus and ordering food, but boy, was I wrong. So I think Jennifer is very deserving of the pay increase, and I hope that the board will.
Excuse me, Cindy, a minute, excuse me. We have one motion about a 2.25.
Okay.
And now we're talking about something different.
Yes.
So, okay, so we need to first vote on that first motion for that, I believe.
You do.
Any questions or discussion of the wage increase for the cafeteria managers and employees? All in favor?
Okay, so now you want us to have another motion because it's not in.
I make a motion to accept the job title change of the Nutrition Services Secretary to District Nutrition Services Manager.
Second?
But that includes the
Yes.
increase?
Yes.
No, it's separate.
It's separate.
It's
Oh,
three,
it's separate.
it's three things.
Okay, got
They
it.
would have a new contract
Gotcha.
job description.
Correct. Does that make
Here it
sense?
is. We'll pass it around.
Do we have a second for that motion? All right.
Yes.
Any discussion on the title change?
Did they go around?
Was that in the package, contract?
No.
Yes,
Yes,
Oh,
it got
was-
put in,
that's
yeah.
the contract.
Oh,
It got put in this evening, actually.
oh, yeah, because it's in blue, right?
Yes. That way you
Have
have
move
the,
the question, if there's no discussion?
Okay. All right, all in favor?
John.
Just the
Yeah.
title.
it's a title
Title.
change.
Okay.
That was everyone?
Yep.
I make a motion to approve the District Nutrition Services Manager contract as presented.
Second.
All right, any discussion?
Is there anything, without reading the whole thing, I didn't read it before I came. Is there anything that needs to be noted in here that's anything changing from what's?
Yeah, the salary's changing because
It's-
it's an elevated position. So if I could ask Mrs. Brooks, does it remain cost neutral within the budget of the operating?
Yes, it does. Just briefly, because I know it's not the agenda, but in regards to the budget, 2 years ago, I had to spend down $150 that the state required because I had excess funds, which I put into the schools, replacing all the kitchen equipment. Last year, I still had to spend down, I think it's $130,000, which I completely remodeled the high school cafeteria, dining hall, and
Yes.
then again, purchased more equipment. This school year, I still have to spend down money, so it is in the budget, which I plan on purchasing the last equipment for the middle school. I am not touching Bungay School. And then moving forward with purchasing fresh fruits and vegetables and working with the farmers to bring back into the district.
Help here.
So the answer is yes, you have the money.
Yes. And the contract is basically the same type of individual
Is there anything else
contracts.
there besides salary? Are there any benefits being added, sick time?
No, it's all in there,
That's
it's the
all.
same.
All the
The
same.
only thing is the salary increase and the title of a contract, because, believe it or not, there was never a title for her. I just called her my assistant, my go-to.
So we made sure the contract format was basically the same as all the other individual and in line with what the other food service employees get.
And we have to remind ourselves that, if I may through the chair, we are very lucky that we continue to have an independent, nutrition services program here. Because every time we go to the conventions, there are constantly these companies that are
Contracting
trying
out.
to contract with us. I mean, we are
Yeah.
very lucky, and we continue to not have too much funding for our program. So we want to try to support as much as we can.
All right, let's vote. All in favor of approving the contract? Thank you.
Thank you.
We have items under information. Any questions about those?
Yeah, I have a question on the, A, please. Is Ed still here or did he leave?
You're talking about the Seymour High School spectator expectations?
Yes.
Yes, we have, I met with Ed and Mr. Lucky, Kathy. We also had the chief on the phone and just discussed how that with football games and so forth in regards with an incident that occurred with a student that was being followed by another student and whatever, I won't go into detail. So in regards with that, it's just best, we thought, to spell out some expectations in regards about football games, because there was an incident that did occur. I'm not going to go into it here in public, but it was addressed and taken care of with the Seymour Police. So we just want to make sure moving forward, the expectations that were included there were something that our athletic director put together and the assistant athletic director, and working with Mr. Lucky and Ed Henry, okay?
It'd be nice to have expectations as well for like plays and concerts. So we have
Yes.
a uniform.
Yeah.
So we're teaching how to participate in these.
Yeah, because this is technically, this seems to be related just to football.
It is, it was.
And so maybe.
That's what it is.
Maybe the name should be Seymour High School Football Spectator Expectation.
Yeah, but we thought this was a good way to go to start.
I don't disagree with anything,
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I
to
agree.
Follow up
Yeah.
on Kristen's point.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have it for each,
Each.
any event.
But do we,
Yeah.
see what I'm worried about is we're gonna have this policy, now we need to change it when we talk about the winter sports and spring sports, that's what I'm.
Yeah, these are just behavioral expectations that's going to be shared.
No, but you don't understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
If we accept this as Seymour High School spectator expectations, it's not specific for indoor sports.
It's not, that's right.
Well, we don't have to accept it, though. There's
Right.
no
Right.
approval needed from us. This is something that school administration is putting out, and so we can certainly, they're hearing us
Let's
say.
develop it into a policy, I think, is where that we would need to go
Okay.
with it. Don't
All
you
right.
agree?
All
Give me
right.
direction.
That, I'm just,
Right.
I was just thinking, Kristen was thinking on the same as me as far as indoor expectations.
And it
stuff
should,
like that.
there should be, that all should be spelled out as well. I'm just saying, we've just started now with football, and
I
we need to
understand.
address all of them.
Because
If there's
just,
security at these games, they could have whatever rules they want. They just gotta be people if they're causing disruption. So this is just a,
I understand that, but unless you've worked there, Chris, and gone there, there's times that, and, they're, not- we have 4 police officers, and I see 4 police officers within 2 feet of each other. And that's not what it's supposed to be. If we have 4 police officers at a football game, we should have them separated, because even
That's
at
off
one.
task. Ed, that's off topic, though. With all due respect, it's off topic. It's 9 o'clock, and we have a very important executive session.
We did arrange for that, that was discussed, and where they're going to be in the locations because of the incident.
we got an email about that.
Yeah, we did.
Yep.
So we're gonna be good with that, the chief and our police do a good job, but we need them spread out different places.
All right. Any other questions about information? All right, moving on. Board of Education comments and superintendent report. I have no comments. Any other board members? We'll go this way.
Nope.
Board member comments?
No, I'm good.
Board member comments? Pete? Okay. Dr. Compton, superintendent.
Go
Yes.
Go vote Thursday.
Yes.
Okay, I would just like to just say congratulations to our high school student for the big win with the boxing, with that national award. I think that's really remarkable. Like I said, we did put him up on the Facebook posting, and congratulations. We're very proud of him. Also, I'd like to say I was extremely proud. Saturday, Mr. Hatfield and myself attended together to celebrate the naming of both Kathy and Spoonie into the Athletic Association of Coaches Hall of Fame. It was quite an experience to sit there and see their names, and for his daughters to be there on his behalf, and for Kathy and her family. Just a lot to be proud of. So I just want to say thanks, Jay. We had a great trip, Penelope, you and I, and it truly was a celebration that day for Saturday. So the only other thing I would like to say, we've had a lot of things going on. It's been a busy time, and we've still got another very important part on this agenda to do next. So I'm done.
All right, I'll take a motion to go into executive session.
I make a motion that the Board of